welcome back. The next concept we're going to go over is what a conditional statement is. So we can make a statement and we can see if we can turn it into a conditional statement. Conditional statement is in the form if something, then something else. If, and then the hypothesis goes after the if, then conclusion. So if you have a hypothesis and a conclusion in science class, notice the hypothesis is what you say first, it predicts first, and the conclusion is what happens after. So here we have a conditional statement that can be written. Okay, so how can this statement be written in a conditional form? Your phone is set to vibrate so it will not disturb others. You have to be careful when you write a conditional statement about what comes first and what comes second. So what comes first? Is your phone being set to vibrate or is it disturbing others? Which one's going to be the hypothesis and which one's going to be the conclusion? If your phone is set to vibrate, comma, then it will not disturb others. I know I spelled that wrong. There you go. If hypothesis, then conclusion. And that's called a conditional statement. It's an if-then form. We are about to learn about what are called related conditionals. Sometimes these statements are true, and sometimes they're not true. Sometimes this is true, and sometimes we write another related conditional where we switch the hypothesis and the conclusion, and that's false. It's not always necessarily true. So let's see if we can't go to the next slide, which I believe I already have recorded, but I think it wouldn't be bad to do. Write the following in if-then form as a conditional statement. So everybody at the party received a gift. So is the party attendance first or the gift receiving first? Okay, parties first. And you can write it in a few different ways. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay, so if you go to the party, then you receive a gift. Or if you attend the party, or if I attend the party, or if she attends the party, then she will receive a gift. Doesn't really exactly matter. Okay, so I'm going to write if you go to the party, then you will receive a gift. There we go. Just took that statement and I put it in conditional form, an if-then form, with a hypothesis and a conclusion. The hypothesis is you go to the party, and the conclusion is you receive a gift. Okay? A lot of times, the easiest way to identify those is to focus on the important words. Go to the party, receive a gift. Those are the important words. And that's how the next slides are set up. So here, often it's helpful to focus on the key words in a conditional statement. So if your library book is damaged, then you will have to pay a fine. So, I mean, is that a true statement? If your library book is damaged, do you have to pay a fine? That was weird. I don't know if it's still recording. Okay. Okay, that's a true. Let's just assume that's a true statement. If you bring back a damaged book, you have to pay a fine. If we write the converse to the statement, where you switch the hypothesis and the conclusion, is that a true statement? We have to switch the hypothesis and the conclusion. So if you pay a fine, then your book is damaged. Is that a true statement? If you pay a fine, then your book is damaged. Can you think of another example, or can anyone think of another example where you might pay a fine at the library, but you haven't damaged a book? Or are there any other fines from the library besides damaged books? Yeah.
If you don't return it on time.
Oh, so if you bring a book back late, even though it's not damaged, you could pay a fine. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so just because the original statement, the if then, the conditional statement is true, doesn't mean when we switch that hypothesis and conclusion and write the converse, that's necessarily going to be true.